The hospital air, thick with antiseptic, always pricked my nose. A familiar sting. Comforting, in a way. It meant I was where I belonged, where I could play my part. I straightened my ID badge, Laura, surgical assistant, printed in crisp black font. A smile stretched across my face, practiced and pleasant. I was a chameleon blending into the sterile landscape. No one suspected the predator lurking beneath. Lunch was a hurried affair, a quick sandwich in the break room, bland and forgettable. My colleagues chatted about their families, their vacations, their lives outside these sterile walls. I nodded along, feigning interest. My true hunger couldn't be satisfied with stale bread and wilted lettuce. My hunger craved something richer, something rawer. My shift ended, the clock ticking by with agonizing slowness. Finally, freedom. Or my version of it. The evening air was cool against my skin as I walked to my car. The setting sun cast long shadows, obscuring my face. A shiver ran down my spine. It wasn't from the cold. Tonight, I would feed. My apartment was a sanctuary. Dark, quiet, and free from prying eyes. Here, I could be myself. Or rather, the self I kept hidden from the world. I went straight to the kitchen, my sanctuary within a sanctuary. The stainless steel gleamed under the harsh fluorescent light. My tools were laid out, meticulously cleaned and arranged. The container in the fridge hummed softly. I unlocked it, the metallic scent of blood filling my nostrils. Inside, nestled amongst ice packs, were my prizes. Fresh, vibrant, and pulsing with stolen life. A liver, a kidney, the leftovers from a recent surgery. My heart quickened with anticipation. I worked quickly, my movements practiced and precise. The organs were chopped, diced, and blended with a gruesome efficiency. I added fruit to mask the metallic tang: strawberries, bananas, blueberries, anything to disguise the true nature of my gruesome cocktail. The blender whirred, a macabre symphony of sin. The final product was a thick crimson concoction, innocent on the surface, hiding a dark and terrible truth. I poured it into a tall glass, the metallic scent making my mouth water. This was sustenance. This was power. This was my dark secret. Days turned into weeks, my routine a macabre dance. I was a phantom, slipping through the hospital corridors, unseen, unnoticed, until the day I wasn't. It started with a misplaced scalpel, a missing kidney, then whispers, strange smells emanating from the surgical assistant's locker. Suspicion began to cloud the sterile air. They watched me, their eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and revulsion. I felt their gaze on my back, a constant, prickling sensation. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. They were on to me. My carefully constructed facade began to crumble. One evening, they cornered me. Security guards, their faces grim, their hands hovering near their holsters. My locker gaped open, its contents strewn across the floor. Empty specimen jars, blood-stained gauze, a half-empty container of strawberries, a single drop of blood clinging to its side. The evidence was undeniable. The hospital, once my hunting ground, was now my prison. They led me away in handcuffs, my face a mask of cold indifference. I felt no remorse, only a chilling emptiness. The hunger was a gnawing beast, and it demanded to be fed. I was released without charges. Lack of evidence, they said. But the suspicion lingered, a stain on my reputation. I lost my job, my apartment, my carefully constructed life. I was adrift, alone, and consumed by a hunger that wouldn't be silenced. The hunger evolved, twisted into something darker, more sinister. It wasn't enough to scavenge anymore. I craved something more, something fresher. My gaze turned to the playground down the street where children laughed and played, oblivious to the predator in their midst. Their innocence, their vitality called to me. One evening, a little girl wandered away from the group, her eyes glued to a brightly colored butterfly. She didn't see me coming. No one did. The hunger had found its new prey. Pause 3, S. As the night deepened, Laura's fears became palpable. The hospital's eerie silence was broken only by the distant echoes of footsteps. She knew she had to uncover the truth, but what she found was beyond her darkest nightmares. The revelation was not just about the hospital, but about herself. She was part of the horror, a piece of the dark secret that bound the hospital's fate. Pause 2S. Images of her past flashed before her eyes, moments she had long buried, memories she had hoped to forget. The hunger, the insatiable craving, it had always been there, lurking beneath the surface. She realized with chilling clarity that she was not just a victim of the hospital's sinister experiments, but a willing participant. Pause 2S. Her hands trembled as she flipped through old case files, each one detailing a patient who had mysteriously disappeared. They were all connected, their fates intertwined with hers. She was both the hunter and the hunted, trapped in a cycle of darkness that seemed impossible to escape. Pause 2S. Laura's gaze fell upon a photograph of a young girl, the same girl she had seen at the playground. The girl's innocent eyes seemed to pierce through her, a haunting reminder of what she had become. The hunger was not just a physical need, it was a manifestation of her deepest, darkest desires. Pause 2S. She knew what she had to do. The revelation had given her a grim purpose. She had to confront the monster within, to face the truth of what she had done and what she was capable of. The hospital may have been the catalyst, but the darkness was hers alone to bear. Pause 3S. Laura's revelation was only the beginning of her descent into madness. Stripped of her job and consumed by the hunger, she began to prey on the innocent children who wandered too close to her home. Pause 2S. Her latest victim was Officer Finney's youngest daughter, a girl whose laughter once echoed through the playground. The police were relentless in their search, their suspicion falling heavily on Laura. Pause 2S. They questioned her, their voices laced with doubt, but Laura's facade remained intact. Yet the officers were not fooled. They shadowed her every move, their eyes never leaving her. The trail led them to her secluded holiday house, a place far removed from prying eyes. Pause 2S. Inside, the horror unfolded. An officer stumbled upon the young girl, her eyes wide with terror. She pointed to the freezer, her small finger trembling. Pause 2S. The officers opened it and recoiled in horror, the sight of organs neatly stacked like grotesque trophies freezing their blood. Pause 2S. Laura ran, her footsteps echoing through the woods, but there was no escape. The police cornered her, their determination an unbreakable wall. She fought, her screams piercing the night, but she was overpowered and taken into custody. Pause 2S. The rescue of Officer Finney's daughter was bittersweet, the discovery of 58 bodies a grim testament to Laura's monstrous deeds. Families, long tormented by the disappearance of their loved ones, finally received the closure they sought. The bodies were returned, and proper burials were held, a somber farewell to the victims of Laura's dark hunger. Pause 2S. Laura's fate was sealed. In prison, her life was cut short by the hands of those who could not forgive her atrocities. Pause 2S. The cycle of darkness was broken, but the scars it left behind would never fade. The reckoning had come, leaving a trail of sorrow and a lesson in the depths of human depravity. The hospital was held accountable for all the horrors they forced on employees with their sick games, and those responsible also ended up in prison. Pause 2S. The hospital got new head staff and got a big restructure as well as a name change. Pause 2S. Please like and subscribe. I will be forever grateful. Pause 2S.